Let me say it straight. Shane van Gisbergen didn't just win a race. He slammed the door shut on the entire Cup Series field. And the sound? Oh, it echoed. Across pit road, into haulers, and deep inside the minds of some of NASCAR's top names. At Sonoma Raceway, SVG didn't just win. He obliterated the field. 97 laps led out of 110. 3 restarts survived like they were nothing. A third win of the season. His third road course win in 5 races. And the veterans? They're stunned, speechless, maybe even a little scared. Shane van Gisbergen just tied a Jeff Gordon record. Yeah, that Jeff Gordon. 3 straight road course wins from the pole. The last time that happened was back when dial-up internet was still a thing. And SVG? He's only been full-time in NASCAR for 1 year. So why are drivers furious? Because this wasn't supposed to happen. Not like this. Not this fast. Let's rewind. SVG came from Australia, where he tore up the supercar scene. 80 wins, 46 poles, 3 championships. He was already a legend down under. But nobody expected him to jump into NASCAR and make it look this easy. He showed up in 2023, Chicago, first ever NASCAR Cup race. First race, first win. That hadn't been done since 1963. The headlines called it a miracle, a one-off, beginner's luck. But it wasn't. Then came Mexico City. SVG left the field in the dust, literally. He won by 16 seconds. You don't do that in the Cup Series, not unless you're on a different level. 3 weeks later, he did it again. Chicago, sweep of the Xfinity and Cup races, from the pole, just like Kyle Busch did in Indy 2016. And then, Sonoma, another sweep, another pole, another Cup win. And this time, there were no excuses. Veterans are no longer just keeping an eye on SVG. They're staring in disbelief. William Byron, Daytona 500 winner, spent the whole race watching SVG's bumper. Afterward, he admitted it. He's just closer to the edge than all of us. He's not reacting. He's already a step ahead. That's not just praise. That's a warning. Because here's the truth. SVG is making them look slow, making them look lost. He's racing in a different rhythm. And the rest of the field, they're just trying to keep up. Chase Briscoe finished second at Sonoma. You'd think he'd be proud, but instead, he sounded defeated. I never played basketball against Michael Jordan in his prime, he said, but I feel like that's probably what it was like. Think about that. A Cup Series winner compared SVG to MJ. That's not a compliment. That's a white flag. And the numbers, they back it up. 4 wins in just 34 Cup starts. That's the fastest since Parnelli Jones back in 1967. SVG has now tied legends like Darrell Waltrip and Martin Truex Jr. in road course wins. And he's just getting started. Justin Marks, Trackhouse Racing's owner, said it months ago. He's the best road course stock car racer I've ever seen. Now everyone sees it. At 34 races into his Cup career, SVG is already rewriting history books. He's winning in places most drivers struggle to finish top 10. And the scariest part? He's still learning, still adjusting, still improving. This isn't just dominance. This is disruption. Drivers don't know how to respond. They're used to trading paint, fighting for inches, and grinding out wins. But SVG? He dances through chaos like it's a Sunday drive. And it's messing with them. When a driver like Chase Briscoe admits he had maybe one shot on a restart, but even if he cleared SVG, he'd probably get passed right back, that's not competition. That's surrender. Shane van Gisbergen isn't just raising the bar. He's launching it into orbit. And while fans are amazed, competitors are unsettled. Because every time SVG straps into a road course car, it feels like the outcome is already decided. So now the questions swirl. Can anyone stop him? Will he break Jeff Gordon's record next? Is NASCAR watching the rise of the greatest road course driver ever? And maybe most importantly, what happens when SVG starts winning everywhere, not just road courses? Here's the problem, and it's a big one. Shane van Gisbergen isn't just dominating. He's breaking people. Not just on the track, but in their heads. When a driver wins, sure, it stings the rest of the field. But when that driver shows up from halfway across the world, learns the rules, learns the tracks, and then crushes the best in just a year, that doesn't just hurt. That insults the whole system. SVG is a storm that NASCAR didn't see coming. And now that he's here, nobody has a clue how to stop him. At Sonoma, he led 97 laps. That's more than Jeff Gordon ever led there. Let me repeat that. More than Gordon ever did. And SVG did it while surviving 3 restarts, multiple cautions, and a whole field of drivers doing everything they could to catch him. And they couldn't. Not even close. These are Cup champions, Daytona winners, and playoff veterans, and they're getting schooled by a guy who was racing supercars last year. That's why the anger is growing. That's why some drivers aren't just confused. They're furious. They're training harder, studying longer, pushing deeper, and still, SVG is waving from the front of the pack like he's got cruise control on. And look, we're not saying these other guys aren't talented. They're some of the best in the world. But SVG, he's different. He's got something they can't teach. That sixth sense on road courses. That way he makes a 400-pound car dance through tight corners like a go-kart. He's in tune with the track before the green flag even drops. It's almost unfair. Chase Briscoe admitted that if SVG passed him once, he wasn't getting back around. William Byron said it felt like watching someone who was already a step ahead of the race itself. This is more than talent, it's mental warfare. Every SVG win chips away at the confidence of the garage. Every dominant lap sends another message. You can't touch me. And fans, they're loving it. The SVG craze is real. Every race weekend, more people are tuning in to see just how badly he'll beat the field this time. Social media is blowing up with memes, replays, and side-by-sides comparing him to NASCAR legends. And speaking of legends, Jeff Gordon's record of 9 road course wins? Yeah, SVG's already halfway there, with just 34 starts. At this pace, that record's not just in danger, it's doomed. What makes it worse for everyone else? SVG loves being here. This means everything, he said after Sonoma. I had an amazing time in Australia, and now, being here, it's a dream come true. He's humble, he's respectful, and he's still smashing people every Sunday. So what happens next? Well, that's the scary part, because right now all of SVG's wins are on road courses. But he's not stopping there. He's studying ovals, he's logging laps, he's learning the NASCAR playbook, and every week he's getting faster. Once he starts winning on ovals, once he figures out how to master super speedways and short tracks, it's game over. Imagine a driver who's unbeatable on road courses and competitive everywhere else. That's championship material. That's dynasty-level dominance. And that's exactly where SVG is headed. So yeah, drivers are furious. But not because he's cocky. Not because he's dirty. Not because he talks trash. They're mad because he's that good. And they know it. In just over a year, Shane Van Gisbergen has gone from outsider to unstoppable. He's shaking up the sport, rewriting history, and putting the fear of defeat into some of NASCAR's biggest names. And the best part? He's just getting started. So let me ask you this. Is SVG the future of NASCAR? Can anyone stop him? Or are we watching the rise of the greatest road course driver in Cup Series history right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe, and buckle up, because the SVG era is just beginning.